What if coffee never existed? No morning energy, no late night focus, no coffee shops on every corner. Sounds small, but it's not. Because coffee didn't just wake people up, it quietly shaped human history. Without it, workers during the Industrial Revolution tire faster, productivity drops, and progress slows down. Even revolutions of ideas, once fueled inside crowded coffee houses, might never spread the same way. And today, no hustle culture, no grind mindset, just a world forced to slow down. But here's the real question. Would we be less productive or more human? One missing drink, one forgotten discovery, and history changes forever. What if one of the most powerful forces shaping human history was never discovered? Not fire, not electricity, but something far more ordinary. A small, bitter drink made from roasted beans. Coffee. Today, billions of people depend on it. It fuels mornings, powers industries, and even shapes global culture. But what if coffee never existed? No morning cup, no coffee shops, no caffeine-driven productivity. Would the world slow down? Or would it become something entirely different? This is the story of a world without coffee. The accident that never happened. Legend says coffee was discovered by a goat herder in the highlands of Ethiopia. He noticed something strange. His goats became unusually energetic after eating berries from a certain plant. Curious, he tried them himself. And just like that, the first spark of caffeine entered human history. But in this alternate world, that moment never happens. The goats eat the berries. Nothing is noticed. No curiosity is sparked. The plant remains just another shrub in the wilderness, and humanity never discovers coffee. A slower world without coffee. Mornings feel different. There's no sharp jolt of energy, no ritual of brewing, no comforting aroma filling the air. People wake up slower, fatigue lingers longer. Focus is harder to maintain. In our world, caffeine acts like a silent engine, stimulating the brain, keeping society running at high speed. Without it, human productivity changes. Workdays may start later, breaks become longer. Mental endurance becomes a natural limitation again. Would humanity adapt? Yes, but not in the way you might expect. The rise of alternatives. Without coffee, other drinks rise to power. Tea becomes dominant, but not instantly. Regions like China, Japan, and India already had tea traditions. But without coffee competing globally, tea spreads even faster. However, tea contains less caffeine than coffee, so its effect is milder, more calming than energizing. In Europe, where coffee houses once thrived, something different emerges. Hot chocolate becomes a cultural centerpiece. Herbal tonics gain popularity. Even fermented drinks take on a larger role. But none truly replace coffee's sharp, immediate stimulation. The world adapts, but remains slightly slower. No coffee houses, no idea revolution. In our timeline, coffee houses were more than places to drink. They were hubs of thought. In cities like London, Paris, and Vienna, coffee houses became known as penny universities, places where anyone could gather, exchange ideas, debate philosophy, and challenge authority. Many historians believe coffee played a role in shaping the Enlightenment, a period of scientific discovery, intellectual growth, and revolutionary ideas. But in a world without coffee, these spaces never form the same way. Alcohol remains the dominant social drink. And alcohol doesn't sharpen the mind, it dulls it. Conversations become slower, less focused. Debates lose clarity. Would the Enlightenment still happen? Yes, but perhaps later or differently. Industrial Revolution delayed? The Industrial Revolution changed everything. Factories ran longer. Workers endured exhausting shifts. Machines operated around the clock. Coffee played a hidden role. It helped workers stay alert, stay awake, stay productive. Without coffee, fatigue becomes a bigger obstacle. Workers tire faster, mistakes increase, efficiency drops. Factory owners are forced to adjust. Shorter shifts, more rest, slower production. The Industrial Revolution still happens, but its pace slows down, and with it, the speed of human progress. A different kind of mindset. Without coffee, human thinking might shift in subtle ways. Caffeine doesn't just wake us up, it sharpens focus, enhances alertness, temporarily boosts cognitive performance. Without it, people rely more on natural rhythms. Sleep becomes more important. Rest becomes essential, not optional. Instead of pushing through exhaustion, people listen to their bodies. Would creativity suffer? Not necessarily. In fact, some argue that slower thinking allows deeper reflection. Fewer rushed decisions, more deliberate ideas. A world without coffee might be less reactive, but more thoughtful. Modern work culture collapses or evolves? Think about today's world. Deadlines, late nights, early mornings. Coffee is the fuel behind modern hustle culture. Without it, that culture struggles to exist. Grind mentality becomes harder to sustain. Burnout happens faster and more visibly. Companies are forced to rethink work itself. Flexible schedules become normal. Rest is prioritized. Productivity is measured differently. Instead of working longer, people work smarter. Or at least they try to. Global economy changes. Coffee is one of the most traded commodities in the world. Millions of farmers depend on it. Entire economies are built around it. Countries in South America, Africa, and Southeast Asia rely heavily on coffee exports. Without coffee, these regions take different paths. Alternative crops rise, cacao tea, spices, or grains. Economic structures shift. Some nations may struggle at first. Others may find new opportunities. But one thing is certain, the global economy would look very different. Social life without coffee. Coffee is more than a drink, it's a ritual. First dates, friendly catch-ups, quiet moments alone. Without coffee, what replaces it? Tea shops? Possibly. But the culture feels different. Tea is slower, more ceremonial. Coffee is quick, energizing, casual. Without it, social interactions might become more intentional, less rushed, more meaningful, or perhaps less frequent. Energy, redefined. Without caffeine, humans search for other ways to stay energized. Exercise becomes more important. Nutrition becomes critical. Sleep becomes non-negotiable. Instead of artificial boosts, energy becomes something you earn. This could lead to healthier lifestyles, or a constant struggle against fatigue. Technology and innovation. Would we still have smartphones? Artificial intelligence? Space exploration? Yes, but timing matters. Innovation often depends on long hours of focus, late-night breakthroughs, relentless experimentation. Coffee fuels those moments. Without it, progress may slow. But it may also become more balanced, fewer sleepless nights, more sustainable creativity. The butterfly effect. It's easy to think of coffee as small, just a drink. But its absence creates ripples across history. Slower mornings, different cultures, altered economies. Even revolutions might unfold differently. All because of one plant that was never discovered. So, what would the world really look like without coffee? Slower? Yes. Less productive? Maybe. But also more rested. More deliberate. More human. Sometimes the smallest things shape the biggest outcomes. A single berry, a single discovery, a single cup. And without it, history itself changes. This is Curious Bird, and these are the facts that makes you think.